The first thing we need not to we need to do in this program is the question. First, we write introduction, paraphrase. Here is the original question, and we do not want to copy it directly. We simply change some words while keeping the same meaning. So instead of saying the graph below show, we can say the line graph illustrates the average monthly percentage change in the price of nickel and zinc during 2014. I have write this introduction. The line graph illustrates the average monthly percentage change in the price of copper, nickel, and zinc during 2014. And now we will write overview, which is probably the most important part of the task 1. Here we do not give a lots of numbers, we simply describe the main trends. Look at the graph. Look at the look at the graph. We can see that nickel experiences the greatest fluctuations. Look at the nickel, while copper remain relative stables. We can also see all the three metal. We can also see that all the three metals decline around the middle of the year and then recover at the end of the years. So our view is our view is overall nickel experienced the greatest fluctuations, copper remained relatively stable, and all the three metals declined mid-year before recovering toward the end of 2014. Now we will make body 1 and body 2. In body 1 paragraph we will discuss nickel because it shows significant changes. Now we start with nickel, and this is the nickels. Look at the 6 figure. Nickel began around 6% in January, which is the highest figure in the graph, and then fall suddenly, reaching approximately -3% in June, the lowest point. After that, it recovered around -1 between July and September before dipping again at approximately -2% in October, and finally it recovered at the end of the year about 1%. So now look at the body 1 paragraph. In detail, nickel recorded the highest increase at about 6% in the January before falling steadily around -3% in June, and then recovered gradually to approximately -1% between July and September, dipped slightly to -2% in October, and ended the year at about 2%. Now we will write body 2 paragraph. We compare zinc and copper. Copper in body 2. By contrast, copper is much more stable than nickel. It fell around 2% in January to approximately 0 in May, before rising to about 1% between July and September. After dip in October, it recovered and finished year around 1.5%. Meanwhile, zinc started approximately 1% in January. Look at zinc. Look at the zinc. Zinc approximately 1% in January and rose to peak 3% in February, and then declined gradually around -1% in June. It remained relatively stable for several months and finally recovered approximately 2% in December. So we write body 2 figure. So that's our complete task 1. First we write introduction, then we write overview, then we body figure 1 and body figure 2. And remember, in task 1, don't try to describe every single numbers. Focus on the main trend, significant change, and comparisons. Thank you so much for you watching this video. Allah Hafiz.